I've done so many other things. And yeah, so that's how I feel about it. Love it.
Yes, so that's exciting to have from a personal trainer who hasn't had a lot of experience with, this industry and working out with people and having clients and dealing with all that stuff. So to me, that's exciting. And then I want to have Sarah come up here. And she is an amazing girl that I'm very excited to have on this journey with us. And she is... just you share what you are.
Yeah, so I've been passionate about holistic nutrition for about a decade now. I've worked with the Wellness Kitchen, if you're familiar. They're a cancer resource center, and we do organic food. And I've also worked with some natural doctors in town, really just focusing on helping people with autoimmune diseases and health issues. So like Lauren, I know a lot about supplements, and I was skeptical about Plexus because generally speaking, network marketing products aren't that high as far as quality. They have been in the past. So I took my Plexus to my natural doctor, and she is absolutely the best of the best in this area, and she approved Plexus for my daughter and for me. And so I said, wow, this must really be a good product then, and I started taking it. And I was able to get rid of gallbladder issues, stomach issues that with all of my knowledge, I wasn't able to fix on my own. So that's why I was in turn excited about telling other people, because I see so many people with health issues that start with the gut. So some really awesome facts about the gut are that most of our immune system is found in the gut, meaning that your DNA may predetermine what diseases you are prone to. Okay, so someone, it could be cancer, lupus, different things, but the microflora activity in your stomach determines whether that disease happens or not. Wow, that's big, right? I mean, that's groundbreaking as far as how do I prevent these things from happening? Well, the answer is take care of the microflora in your gut. And when I say microflora, I'm talking about the good and bad bacteria. There are more bacteria in your gut than there are cells in your body. So if you think about that, how important it is that that's balanced and that it's basically doing your body justice is really, really important. So that's why Plexus is awesome, is because it addresses the gut issues, balances your microflora, and in turn, all of these other issues go away. Your issues might be depression. 90% of your serotonin is created in the gut. So we're talking about mental health. Your issue might be arthritis. All your inflammatory issues begin in the gut. Autoimmune disorders also can be connected to the gut. So the gut's pretty important. And I've learned that through the years working with so many different diseases. And for me to find a system that deals with eradicating the bad bacteria, seeding the good bacteria, and getting your body to function properly, that all together is phenomenal. Because if you really are concerned about not experiencing these things, because I kind of feel like health is like when you have it, you don't think about it. When you don't have it, it's all you think about. And so that's pretty profound. So if we don't have anything wrong with us, let's look to the future and make sure we're setting ourselves up to not have these inflammatory diseases. And if we do have the issues, I would just love to say that your body has an amazing ability to heal itself. Your body regenerates itself every 7 years, down to the tissue of your heart. That's brilliant, right? Your body is made to function. And I know that that's countercultural. We're made to think you just get sick, you get old, cancer's something you catch. Everything has a source. And once you understand that source, you can protect yourself and your family from an array of modern illnesses. And that's power. And in that way, 7 years, every 7 years, so I'm on my fifth body or sixth. Something like that. And think about it, if during that 7 years you're feeding it junk food and microwave food, and it's not getting the nutrients and the vitamins, your body gets confused and it creates cells that are unhealthy. And in turn, you experience disease. And when we have pain and when we have disease show up, usually the answer is let's just cover that, right? Let's take a pill, we'll get rid of the pain. But that's your body's message to yourself that something's wrong. It's saying, hi, I need something else. Please feed me. I need those vitamins. I need those nutrients. I need to heal the gut. And it's going to continue to tell you that until you listen. So I'd like us to think about disease and pain that way instead of going, oh, I just don't understand. Instead go, okay, there's a reason and I can heal that because my body can heal itself. And that's why, you hear Plexus, you hear people say, I had chronic lupus, I haven't had any what is the word?
Had any symptoms.
Yeah, any symptoms or flare-ups. I haven't any flare-ups, or I had this and Plexus has healed me. Sometimes people hear that and go, well, oh, it's just a wonder drug, right? But the whole point is it heals your gut. So whatever issue you are having, your body is going to heal itself. And that's why it's phenomenal. It's because it aids your body in doing what it's supposed to do. So knowing all the things that I've learned over the years and all the supplements that I've used, I haven't come across anything like this system. And that's why I've come behind it and really just want to help people feel better because everyone's sick. If you look around you, people are overweight, people are inflamed, people are experience all kinds of horrible things. And it's wonderful to be able to help people and say, okay, well, if this is your issue, let's heal your gut. Let's cleanse you and let's get you started. Another great thing to think about is if you're going to start any system, your body's going to need about 90 days to create a new habit, to create new cells. The reason that is because your fat cells are comprised of the last 90 days of intake. So, in turn, it's going to take you 90 days to create a new experience. So if you're going to commit to Plexus and you're excited about what it might do for you, commit to 90 days and understand that this is not I'm going to take it for 5 days and all my problems are going to be gone, because it's not Western medicine. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that Western medicine is take this pill, you'll stop hurting. Natural medicine is what's actually wrong and let's heal you. Let's build some healthy cells. Let's create an environment where your body can thrive. And that's a totally different thing. So, I'm just excited about a system that actually addresses an issue that everyone suffers from. And that can, in turn, heal all of these ailments that are really a problem for our society, especially our culture. One more quick fact. So metabolism is an amazing thing, and Plexus aids in healing your metabolism. So if your cells are toxic, it messes with the mitochondria around the cell. The mitochondria is what determines how you burn, basically. So you have to detox. You have to clean your cells out, and that's what our cleanse system does. We have a part for that, and it's a very gentle cleanse. It's not you've got to go be in the bathroom for 5 days and not look at anyone because you're going to slap somebody cleanses. It's a very it's a very easy cleanse, specifically because it doesn't attack your body in the way that it's harmful, because some cleanses can be very harmful for your body. It's a very easy cleanse. So that's wonderful. So when we get those toxins out, in turn, our body sheds weight. So that's why people are like, I'm losing weight and I haven't necessarily done that much. Well, it's because your body's functioning properly. When you're toxic, your body doesn't let things go. It recirculates those toxins and messes with your mitochondria, and you keep weight on. So when we detoxify, we in turn shed weight. And that's an exciting thing for most Americans. I mean, most of us are over that scale of what's healthy for us. So those are the components.
What's been going on with you?
Oh, okay. So for me, I've done a lot of things. I've been paleo. I've been done clay cleanses. I mean, I know what's out there, and I've worked out like 5-6 days a week, and that whole scenario. This last month and a half, this is the truth. This last month and a half, I haven't had time. So I've been doing some yoga. Haven't had time with my lifestyle right now. I just didn't have time for that. And I juiced, and I went vegetarian, and I committed fully to Plexus, and I've lost 16 pounds in a month and a half. And I have not gone to the gym. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's actually like a healthy rate, but I've never been able to attain that without being in the gym at least an hour and a half a day, 5 days a week. So I'm excited to see what will happen to my body when I do get back to the gym and I keep, doing my yoga and my clients. And yeah, that just means my adrenals are functioning, my thyroid is functioning, my mitochondria is functioning. It gets your body functioning. And that's a really exciting thing, because once your body's functioning, it functions. Yes. Right? And it's the dysfunction and the disease that can really mess with our lives. And so that's why I'm excited about Plexus. It's a wonderful system, and I encourage you to try it for 90 days, because you got nothing to lose. I mean, you're going to gain health, and nothing is more important than that. Believe me, I've worked with people who are near death with lupus, who are literally gray and can't even move, and nothing meant more to them than health. And they're wealthy people who have everything. And I've seen that one-on-one. And so I look at my friends and family who are healthy, and I go, oh man, let's really be proactive about this. Let's not wait till we have all of these problems. And if we do have all of these problems, let's get healthy. But man, prevention is awesome. It's phenomenal. And health is your wealth. I mean, really, there's nothing more important than your health, because you can't enjoy anything else if you are in chronic pain or all of those issues. So thank you for your time.
Yay, Sarah! You have a question?
No, I don't know, I raised my hand. I love
Oh! That's your dad.
you. Yeah, good job, sister.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Dad. We love our dads. So isn't that a blessing for her? It's so awesome. So now I'm going to ask Nikki Sisley. Sorry. She's my dear friend. We've known her forever. She works with my husband. She has a very stressful job. We appreciate her. She's one of our dispatchers, Sheriff's Department. So she's my husband. She's the lifeline for my husband. So I love her to death, and I'm very happy when she's on, because I know my husband's in good hands. Having Nikki on the phone. So I'm very proud of her, and I want her to tell her story with Plexus, and even how that was weird, huh?
Yeah. So my name's Nikki Sisley, and I've known Cindy a long time. I've worked at the Sheriff's Department for 15 years, and I'm a dispatcher there, which is very stressful. And I knew Cindy, but I started taking Plexus. We were really short-staffed about 3.5 years ago. And I was working graveyards for the first time since I started 15 years ago. And I hate graveyards. Anybody who knows me knows I'm up at 6 a.m. every day, without an alarm clock. And I go until 10 at night, and then I'm like, Grandma, I'm in bed. I'm done. So for me to have to go back to working graveyards, and not just be on graveyards, but we were on 12s on graveyards, 4 12-hour shifts with mandatory overtime a week, I was dying. I was miserable. I was sleeping. I'd come home at 7 in the morning. I'd sleep until 11:30 in the morning, and then I couldn't sleep. I was up the rest of the day. It was horrible. I was getting sick all the time. I compete on my horse. I do jumpers. I run marathons. I run 6 marathons. And at that point, I had run 2 marathons. And I had done fine. My times were fine, but not where I wanted to be. And I wasn't having time to ride my horse because I wasn't sleeping. So Cindy, we were at a barbecue, and she's like, you need to try this. And she gave me the sample pack. That week on graveyards, I went to work, and she says, you drink this when you get to work at night. I did exactly what she told me. Drink this right when you get to work at night. And I stayed up all night long. I wasn't falling asleep. I went home and I slept. And I was in bed at 7:15. like alone. And so I'm like, okay, there's something to this. So the rest of my week, the rest of my 4 days, I was like, there's something to this. So I signed up and I got on the triplex. I wasn't on the triplex yet. Well, I'd run 2 marathons, and I've always been into fitness. I used to teach spin classes. Years ago, it was my college job to get through college. I've always ridden horses. I was never a runner growing up. I never played any sports. I just did horses growing up. And when I went to college, I put myself through Cal Poly, so I had to get rid of I retired my horse. And horses just weren't an option. They were too expensive. So that's when I got into the fitness world. And I started teaching spin, and I taught kickboxing, and I started running and doing all those kind of things. And one of my girlfriends, once I was graduated from college and actually gotten a real job, taught me into doing a marathon. So I did my first marathon, and I had a good time. I think I was about 4.5 hours, something like that. And I trained hard, and I've always had problems with my feet and my hips. My feet I've broken several times with horses. And so for me, my biggest worry was that my feet were going to break down. So I did my 2 marathons. The second marathon I did, my time was 4 hours. But I was like, for me to Boston qualify, I have to be at 3.5 hours. So there's no way. I ran as hard as I could. I trained as hard as I could. And this was before Plexus. So I'm starting my Plexus, and my girlfriend that had taught me in the marathon pre-Plexus talks me into another marathon. I'm like, okay, but if I do it this time, I'm going to do it to qualify for Boston. So my goal was to qualify, and I didn't, but I was a lot closer than it was before, which I didn't think was possible. So I did a trail marathon that year also. I went to Moab and ran a trail marathon and survived that. Yeah, it was crazy. And my feet actually survived that, which is what gets me to the pain knees. When I started training for my second marathons, I started talking to Cindy about the pain knees because I was taking ibuprofen all the time. Like, it was the only way after my long runs that I could keep the inflammation out of my feet. Again, like masking, like covering it up. And so I started on the pain knees.
You were going to your marathon, and I remember you.
Yeah, because I was out of them. Yeah, and I stopped over. I was driving to Moab, and I said, Cindy, I ran out of my panties, and it didn't come in the mail. Yeah. She goes, come over, I have something. So she gave me my Ziploc baggie with enough to get me through Moab. Yeah. And I'm not even kidding. Like, I ran the Moab Trail Marathon, which was brutal. I mean, it's 10 times harder than a road marathon.
How long is that?
It took me 5.5 hours. It was 26 miles. Oh. But you're on the where the Jeeps go, like out in the Slick Rock, out in the middle of Moab, Utah. So I ran that, and my feet were fine. I got up the next morning, and I was ready to go for another run. I'm like, oh my God, what is this stuff? So there's truth to it. And I stopped taking it after Moab, very much like what you were saying. I was like, okay, I'm done training now. I don't want another marathon until I pick one. I need to take my panties. Well, then my hips started aching again when I would get out of bed. And my feet started aching again when I would put them on the floor in the morning. And I'm like, I need to get back to my panties. So I got back to the panties, and I don't have any issues with that at all. So about 2 years ago, actually it's about a year and a half ago, I made the commitment to qualify for Boston, and this was my 5th marathon that I was going to do. So I took everything that Plexus offered. I did the triplex religiously. I got my panties going. I think I was taking the edge. I had my Mega and my X Factor every night. I was like religious. I'm like, I'm doing everything right. I'm not going to mess this up. I had my Plexus drink. I was drinking every day. My time was 3:36. So I qualified under the time that I needed for Boston, and I got into Boston this year, and I ran the Boston Marathon this year, which was really exciting for me because for 6 years now I've been running marathons, and I couldn't qualify until I started. So it was super exciting. Yeah.
And you were 6 years older.
I know.
6 years
older. It was
older.
my new life. I think I regenerated my body. So it's been huge for me, and now I take it religiously just because I know it works, and I know with my job, like my job is very stressful, and like this year alone we've had a horrible fire season, and we were just talking about, I started the Vital Biome, like probably, when was it, the beginning of June, I would guess, when it came out. So the minute it came out, I ordered it, and I started taking it, and usually like fire season is chaotic for us, and I would feel myself towards the end of the day, like my back would start getting tight, my neck was getting tight, and I haven't, until we were talking about it tonight, I haven't even noticed any of that. Yeah. And it's been a stressful year at work. We've had crimes gone out, with the early release and all that kind of stuff. So we've been really busy at the Sheriff's Department, and it definitely has helped me.
Yeah. Thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
love her. Like I said, she's my lifeline for my man. So she's very special to our heart. And so isn't that amazing that she's the Boston Marathon and her times and everything? And then for her to say she ran that Moab thing and the next day she wanted to go for a run. I'm like, wow, that's huge. And so now I'm going to ask Lori to come up if she will. And she's going to do a little bit of the science behind this, why athletes are so being blown away by these products and what it's doing, you know, scientifically a little bit, because I know all of us here that we love that stuff. And the more knowledge we know, the better. So, and this is our Diamond Ambassador. She lives, the only one I think in California that lives here in California, and she lives in a Tuscanero. So we're very blessed to have her. Yes, and she introduced Plexus to me. So that's how this all works. We're just sharing with our friends and family, and we're very thankful to the person that shared with us. So yes, it's Lori.
So before I get into the science of it, a little of my background is I actually used to run a women's gym, and I used to teach fitness classes, and I was extremely active. And then I have 4 kids. I have 5 grandchildren with a 6th on the way. And I have 2 kids that are 12 and 13 years old with a big age gap between my oldest 2. And so for the first time in my life, I had gained weight, and I wasn't able to take it off. And so Plexus really changed all of that for me, and it actually got me back into a lot of fitness activities that I love, and where I didn't really hang it up, but I just felt like I was declining. And now, kind of like you, I'm just like up and up and up. So it's awesome. But what I was telling Cindy, the reason the product is great for athletes is because it helps Slim in particular. And actually, I loved what you said, because it's tying in the whole microbiome, which definitely plays a huge role in all of what I'm going to talk about. But I'm just going to talk about insulin as the master hormone and how that affects how you're receiving your nutrients that you're taking in through either supplements, or we had our bikini competitor here, bodybuilders. They consume a lot of protein because they're trying to build those muscles. And so this is how the product helps with that, in addition to what you said with the gut health, because it does it's like a great big circle. It all ties in. But insulin's a master hormone, and your body is comprised of cells, and those cells have receptors on the ends of them, and they receive the insulin that your pancreas pumps out. And insulin is actually a carrier. It's also the master hormone. It dictates to your hormonal system in your body. This is why a lot of women will say that they don't have bad PMS. Just going to say it. My husband, when I started getting on these products, he was like, okay, I didn't even see that coming. Like, you got to tell all the husbands on earth to buy a case of Plexus for their wives. But that's because it helps to create that balance. So people, we're talking about different autoimmune diseases, and, hormones play a huge role in that. So insulin is the boss. Insulin's a master hormone. And when your cells have the receptors on the ends of them, you want your body to be really efficient in receiving insulin. And people will talk about metabolic disorder, and that basically is like an inability to lose weight. It really actually truly is. And that's because the insulin is just kind of passing over those receptors that are supposed to receive it. And so your body is getting pumped full of a ton of insulin, but it's not actually receiving any of it. So what a healthy body does is a healthy body actually receives the insulin, and the insulin is the carrier for your nutrients. So when you're juicing and you're eating really healthy, the reason why, like for me, I am that healthy, crunchy person. We have our goats, we milk our goats, we raise our own chickens, I juice. I did all of these things before Plexus, but the reason this was the catalyst to change for me is because it helped to make my body receive those nutrients better through those receptors that were now not laying flat. Stress, for a lot of people, can make those lay flat. Also toxins and chemicals and things that we're affected too with, and age. So they've done a study of centurions, people over the age of 100, and they couldn't really find any common denominators among those people until they tested their insulin sensitivity. And the thing, because some of them smoked, some of them drank, some of them ate healthy, some of them ate horrible. They were like, what is going on? And what it was is they were all really sensitive to insulin. And so that is why people will say, I just feel like I'm aging backwards. I feel like I'm recovering from my workouts better. All these processes that we're talking about help you also receive oxygen into your lungs more efficiently. So people will notice that their cardiovascular output is better and they're just recovering from things so much faster. So I hope that wasn't like too
No, we love
sciencey,
science. We love
but
science.
there's no way to do that quick
We're
and
very
not.
science-minded people here.
Okay, good.
We love science.
Thank you.
And this little book here, I wanted to just show you guys too, is one that I have here. If you want to take a picture of it or write the name down, I highly recommend getting this on Amazon. And it will totally make sense about the microbiome and everything that they were talking about, because this explains how we get it, how it grows, what we need. You know, every disease, truthfully, is stemming from the gut area. So this book is one I carry with me everywhere now, and I love it. I read it all the time. And then I wanted to have Todd come up here now. He's going to be our last speaker, our man influence. And he's from Redding, California, so the northern area there. And he's the head coach for the Simpson basketball team. So he's in recruiting mode right now. And he is my husband's first cousin. So we're family. So
I'm going to switch modes just a little bit. The ladies were absolutely amazing. And I sat back there, and I'm blessed in some regards that I get to travel around to different conferences and actually get to speak at one or two of them. But I learned so much tonight. And when you see people with compassion and passion, what you spoke to, I mean, I would drive an hour to hear that. And then, Lori, for you to explain that, you know, in terms that we can understand, amazing. I mean, and Nikki, the difference of your running, I mean, you guys truly inspire me. And usually it's funny because I'm the one who's supposed to go inspire people. And so it was such a great turn of events. And so instead of talking about product, I'm going to talk about what Plexus has done for me as a person. Because as someone who's always on the go and moving and traveling and, you know, doing multiple things and recruiting and always trying to please people, sometimes you get a little fake in life. Has anyone here ever been a little fake with somebody? You know, we won't raise hands because sometimes we have to raise two hands. But one thing Plexus has really done for me is it slowed me down and had me think about people, because I internally get to be selfish and I look out for myself. And because when you're coaching, you're always trying to get your team better, but to get your team better, you have to become better. And they say that the beauty of becoming a millionaire is not the money, but what you become and becoming that millionaire. And that really rang true with me with Plexus, because I'll tell you a quick story. And I don't recommend you do this. In fact, you should not do this. But I was driving up to one of my offices. We're about 45 minutes out of town. And I was driving along, and I on a long stretch, actually goes through the mountains, but happened to be a long stretch, and saw two hitchhikers. And I lived in Maui for 15 years for 3 months. So I picked up a lot of hitchhikers. I do camps in Honduras and all around the world. And there's some places you can pick up hitchhikers still, and it's safe and it's fun and it's friendly and you meet people, but California, not so much. So I'm driving and I hear this voice say, pick them up. And I'm like, I'm not picking them up. I had a brand new truck at the time. I'm like, I'm not picking those hitchhikers up. And as I get close to them, the voice is telling me, it's like, hey, pick them up. And I'm like, I'm late for a meeting. I don't need to pick these. I literally went past them. And the voice in my head said, turn around, pick them up. And now I'm at a corner. I'm like, well, I can't now, because I ultimately stop and I turn back around, and there they are. And they're all excited because actually here comes a truck. And I let them in my truck, and they would be exactly what you would suspect. They smelled horrible. It was vomit, urine, everything you would expect, sweat, and it was in the winter. So where were my windows? Up. So I had them in my truck, and I'm literally driving, and I rolled down my window. And one's sitting right beside me, and one's behind me. And I'm thinking, I never should have done this. And his voice says, roll up your window. I'm like, there's no way I'm rolling up your window. These people smell bad. Okay? The voice just kept saying, roll up your window. And when you get on Plexus, it's amazing what happens with your compassion for people. And I didn't have compassion for people. I didn't be honest with you. There's a little bit of a testimony. I ultimately rolled up the window, and you will not believe what happened. As sure as I'm sitting here, the smell went away. because the smell ultimately wasn't them, it was me. And what happened was these people, they needed love. And I had something that I could give them. I could give them Plexus, but I could also give them compassion. And that's what they needed at that time. I wasn't going to be able to sell them a triplex. I wasn't going to be able to get them to drink the Slim, but what I could give them was passion and compassion. And that's what Plexus has done for me. It slowed me down, and now I'm listening to people. So if you're thinking about it, it's amazing what it's going to do to your life. It's going to help you financially. It's going to help you health-wise, but it's going to help those all around you. Every person you meet. Now when I'm standing in line, I no longer am just on my phone. I'm listening to the people behind me, and I'm listening to them in front of me because they're telling you their life story. You know, you don't know any strangers. You know people in front of you and behind you. And when you get on Plexus, now you have something you can offer them. And it's not just to make money. That's what's so great about this product and these people. You listen to these ladies. That was pure them wanting to help people. And when you start hanging around people like that, it's amazing what your life does. So what it's really done for me too is it's got me to slow down, and I'm shutting down other things because Plan C is now moving up past Plan B. And anytime you can have that type of income just from helping people, what a blessing, because you can bless others. My wife, I'm a little different than most of the people here. My wife was anti-Plexus, did not want it in our house. And in fact, she worked at the hospital. Her husband was a doctor, or her previous husband, no, her grandfather was a doctor, so he wrote scripts all day long. And so every time we got a sore throat, script. Every time we got a scrape, script. So we were taking drugs all the time, and that's how we lived, and that's how we grew up. Just that was normal. And so she didn't want it in the house. And so it's a little different than most Plexus events. You see a lot of ladies, very few men's. Well, I stuck with it. And after 4 months of seeing me on, I noticed that my product was, and I actually thought it was my daughter, because I have a 10-year-old daughter, and everything's Kool-Aid, everything's great. Plexus really tastes good. And I told her, I said, McKenna, you have to stop drinking my Plexus. And my wife, she's like, we need to talk. That's never good to hear if you're a man. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? She's like, I've been taking it. And so now she still takes it. She's never told a soul about it, but she's coming around. But you know what I've noticed, the things that you were talking about, I mean, just the moods, and our house is a friendlier house now, and we're more compassionate to people. So that's my really big thing with Plexus is, yes, it can help you financially. Yes, it will absolutely do what you guys are talking about health-wise, but even more, what can it do for those around you? So I don't know if that was what we're talking about, but really the call to action would be, if you're not in Plexus, I would highly recommend you do it. I mean, and don't wait. My father had open heart surgery, and he was having a hard time walking. And I told Sandy, in fact, she saves the text. I said, I'm never going to share it, and I promise you I will never sell it. Okay, I'm just going to take it. Leave me alone. And I accidentally told my dad one day at the dinner table, and my wife gave me that look. I knew I was in trouble again. But 90 days later, my dad got his blood work back, and it was absolutely amazing what happened to his cholesterol. Went from 232 to 213, and his triglycerides went from 170 to 99, and he was back to hunting and hiking, and that's life-changing. And so we have a product that changes our loved ones' lives. And sometimes we're afraid to share it with people. It's very selfish of me if I don't share it with every single person I know. Okay, so if I can encourage you, if you're not on it, get on it. And if you are on it, make sure you share it with your loved ones, because you don't want that phone call. You don't want to live with his arteries are closing down. He had a heart attack, a stroke, and we could have done something. We could have.
Tell him about this was crazy.
Yeah, he had his one artery he had surgery on last year, and he was getting ready to have another surgery, and he went in, and the doctor said, we don't have to do this. And so it goes right back to taking the Omegas and taking this product faithfully. And then my mom, because of seeing that, because my mom was saying, well, Todd, I'm not doing that thing. Okay, now she's on it. She's 73 years old. About 2 months ago, she called me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just here. She goes, well, I'm at the gym. And I was like, I'm at the gym. I don't see you. She's like, no, I joined the gym. So when a 73-year-old lady goes and joins the gym without telling anybody, it's really doing something. And I didn't have to explain the science of the product to her, okay? Because I finished in the half of the class that lets the top half graduate. Okay? So for me to go explain everything, you don't have to do that to everybody. Just let them know it's going to help them. And they will believe you because you're their friends and you have compassion for them, and you're not going to lie to them because they're your friends. So anyway, anything else?
No, that was awesome. Thank you. And we're doing excellent time. See, this is perfect. So I hope all of you learned some good things tonight and just got really excited about these products. My little testimony, I'll just show it really quick, was I was a photographer interior designer, and that's kind of how Lori and I met. I think we met picking out paint colors first, right? So yeah, that's how I first met her. And then I taught her some piano too, didn't I, a little bit? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So we kind of had, and then she had gone to Tennessee, and her daughter Amber, who was had very serious allergies, had told Lori about it, and Lori was very skeptical, of course, and Amber was for sure that when she gave it to her mom to look over, her mom would just say no, 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 no. And Lori said, wow, 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 wow. And so it was really exciting. And so Lori was coming back to California in her car driving and called me and said, can we meet at the beach for some headshots for something I'm going to bring to California? So we headed to Cayucas and did some beautiful headshots. And then we had brought our husbands along because they really hadn't met. And we sat and ate at the sea shanty, or I don't know, one of those delicious places there. And I was watching her pick her husband's food on the menu. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Because it's just I have never seen, the wife figuring out what the husband's going to eat. And so I think I mentioned, can you pick mine?
To you, I'm doing this because he makes me do this.
Yes, because he's a diabetic one. So they're very on top of his diet and everything. And so I said, well, pick mine too, and we were teasing. And then I just started unfolding to Lori and explaining my situation with my lupus. I had it when I was 20. I got it when I was 25. And so that was 3.5 years ago. And I had suffered for years with it, 7-8 bouts of prednisone and medical chart this thick, and lots of my flares, were serious. The one was very serious with the back of my brain. So I had trigeminal neuralgia, which is a neuropathy in your face. And it's excruciating pain. They call it the suicide disease, and there's no cure. And so I had been suffering with that for about 7 years when Lori shared Plexus. And she started talking about Slim. She had a little postcard, and it had vegetables on it. Remember that postcard? Yeah. See if you make more of those. That was really cool because Plexus is all plant-based. So this postcard had all these plants and vegetables around it. And I thought, okay. And she mentioned, my husband is the one that said, what if, honey, in 6 weeks you're going back on prednisone? What if what Lori's saying about inflammation and things is true? What's it going to hurt? And so the next day we were driving to San Jose, and I went ahead and ordered. And I was leaving for Hawaii for 10 days. So I called Lori and I said, I need 10 days worth of the pink drink so I can take it on my trip. And big things started happening for me. 4th day, I slept all night for the first time in years. 5th day, I had my brain fog kind of lift, and I was happy. And I'm called my husband. I'm like, honey, we have to move to Hawaii. And honey, we need this mattress that costs $3,000 because I'm sleeping. It wasn't clicking that it was this pink drink. And then when I got home, I'd lost 2.5 inches on my waist in 10 days in Hawaii on vacation with my girlfriend. So then it clicked, okay, what's going on here? And then it's been 3.5 years. I have not had one lupus flare. One. I haven't even seen my doctor. 3.5 years. I'm off all my medications. My trigeminal, which I said there's no cure, I haven't had any pain. After about 3 months, it's been gone. And I've met about over 10 now in Plexus across the United States that we've had this problem that we really don't anymore. And I'm not saying I can't say we're cured, but I don't have any symptoms. So that's because of what everybody talked about, getting that healed. So I was one of the ones, just like Todd, Lori can testify. I told her I am not doing this business. I am not. Right, Lori?
Oh, yeah. She told me never.
I was very adamant with her because I had done it before with jewelry. And I was, no. But when you're so transformed, I have a picture here. I'll show you my picture. Because in 3 months, the inflammation in my face is just unreal. And so people were like, what are you doing? I need this. And they started coming out of the woodwork. So this was me, like that. I was a size 18. And you can see that picture on the bottom is just 3 months. That's when we were picking Lori's her Lexus up. That picture on the bottom, I was sitting in your Lexus because she didn't want to drive it. I drove it. Remember? I got to drive it home from Monterey. It was really amazing. but it was just, when that happened, you cannot, and I tell people from the beginning, like, try keeping this in. It's a secret that you cannot keep in. You're hearing, like Todd says, all of a sudden your little ears perk up and you start hearing everybody around you that you love and care about having these issues that Plexus can help with. You can't keep it in, right, Lois? Because she's brand new too, and they're already on fire, like helping a lot of people. So that's what I did. I just started helping my family, my aunts, my uncles, cousins, with migraines, with just everything. We have a lot of autoimmune in our family. We don't anymore. My mom's off her high blood pressure meds. We have Uncle Al with cholesterol. Like, our whole family is pinkified. And that's why I drive my white Lexus. And that's why we're going to Hawaii in 6 weeks. And just all these amazing things with Plexus, because I just want to change people's lives. And that's the cool thing about it. So whoever brought you here tonight really cares about you. And you need to thank them, because they really love you and they want to help you. And take what they're doing and run with it and stay with it for minimum of 3 months. But 7 years is better, right? I heard it. So anyway, it's perfect timing. We're right on time, 2 minutes early. So I hope everybody enjoyed tonight. I sure did. I loved hearing this from the athletes and everything. So go out and spread the word about Plexus, like all of us here that are just very passionate about it. And thank you again for everybody that shared. You did awesome. I'm so excited, because that was the first for a lot of them. So that was a comfort zone thing that grew. So we're very happy about that. So thank you again, and we're done for that, and we can mingle. I'm going to turn off this Zoom because I recorded it.